Bleeding purple and gold. From the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LakersNation.com podcast with your host, Trevor Lane.
Welcome to today's show. As always, we are powered by CLNS Media and LakersNation.com, your one-stop shop for all things Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers season has just come to an end, and we've got a very special guest joining us today. He was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 1987, five-time first-team All-Defense, five-time NBA champion with the Lakers, WNBA Coach of the Year, and a two-time WNBA champion coach. We have Michael Cooper. Coop, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So the Lakers season just came to an end, and I thought overall it was a pretty good season. They jumped up to 35 wins. What's your overall assessment of where this team's at?
Well, I think looking at the Laker team, you see that they're heading in the right direction. I think Magic, Jeannie Buss, and Rob Pelinka are focusing on the future and building a team, a good, strong team, because, again, the Lakers are about winning championships. And they are heading the right way. I was very pleased the way they played this year. I think the young kids played extremely hard and well. You can see where the inexperience costed them probably about 10 or 15 games, as well as not having that legitimate big or that go-to superstar player. But the pieces that they have, I think, are really, really good pieces, good young pieces that can really be the foundation for the process of winning a championship. And so for them playing, I think a lot of the young kids got a chance to merge. Kyle Kuzma, nobody had ever heard of that young man. And all of a sudden, here he comes, and he's another piece to the puzzle. So I was very happy the way they played all year long. As long as they play hard, you can't really talk bad about them because, again, they're a young team, and they're going to lose some games that they're supposed to win. But just doing that this year will help them win the games that they're supposed to win next year and the years to come.
Well, and speaking of them playing hard, that's a lot of that falls on the head coach, keeping them focused and keeping the right mentality throughout a long 82-game season. As a coach yourself, what did you like about what Luke Walton did this season?
Well, I like Luke's enthusiasm. I think that's always a key, especially with a young team like that. You have to kind of find ways to motivate them and keep them playing hard. I think the one thing that I would like to see different on the team, I think, and Luke coming from a championship team when he was at Golden State, that's a team that kind of ran themselves. And I think, again, the identity that the Lakers are trying to have is the same kind of identity as Golden State. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Time will tell with that. But I don't think the Lakers are that type of team. So their offense sometimes found the ball in the wrong person's hands. But again, I think with all the injuries that was going on, Luke did a good job of juggling the lineups and keeping them motivated. And, like last night's game was a great example of that's the end of the game, the last game of the season. Nothing to play for, nothing to do other than just the pride factor of playing against the Clippers and being said the king of L.A. I thought that was a great, great win for the Lakers last night, and that's just indicative of their season, of them playing hard and being enthusiastic.
So instead of a Golden State Warriors style of play, what would you prefer to see them do on the offensive end?
Well, I think you have to look at your team and develop the offense with your team. Mm-hmm. And I think so many teams over the years, even back in the 80s, whenever a team won a championship or two championships, all the other teams kind of look at what they were doing and kind of formulate their offense around that. I think that's wrong. I think you have to look and see what you have, and you work with what you got. And the Lakers got some great pieces. And again, as a coach, through your years of being in high school and college and other NBA teams, you get taught different type of offenses, and I think that's where the fun part of coaching comes in to me, because I don't have a shooter like Curry and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant on the Lakers. You don't have that are confident and can knock down shots. You got kids that can shoot the ball, but now you have to put them in an offense that best fits them and utilize their offensive set. And I think it's going to be a great upcoming season for Luke. I think he had a good chance to look at his team and reevaluate them, and we go into this offseason and trying to make two big moves with the draft and the ability to get a good free agent. That, to me, is going to be important on how they come out and play well as an offensive team and a defensive team.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge summer for the Los Angeles Lakers. They've got a ton of cap space to play with, and we know Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka are going to be doing everything they can to improve the team in the here and now. Coop, coming up with Magic Johnson and playing with him for so long, are you surprised at all that he's the guy running the show at this point?
No, Magic was always a voice from the outside, obviously with Mitch and the other people that was there, and when Dr. Buss was alive. Dr. Buss is a great owner by putting people in positions to do what they do well, and then he oversees it. And I think the way things were going, that Magic still had a voice there. I think now what you see is he's more on the inside than the outside. I think his interest has always been with the Lakers, and always will be. And I think just through the process of him wanting to be an owner and, doing the things he's done with the Dodgers, he still had an eye and a voice with the Lakers, and now it's just a matter of fact that him not being on the outside anymore, he's on the inside, and he has a lot to say so about the future of this ball club.
I'm having a hard time thinking of anybody else that I would want in a room trying to sell a free agent like a LeBron James or a Paul George on coming to the Lakers rather than Magic Johnson. It feels like that's really going to be his time to shine, wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say so, but you remember there's Kobe, there's Shaq, you got some of the players that played. I think those players, when they interview those players would probably be in there as well. But Jerry West was very good at what he did, and I think Jerry West would rank among the best as far as trying to sell a player on the Lakers. But you know what? I agree with Kobe. If we have to sell you on a championship organization like that, we don't need you. This is a chance where you can come and be a big part of this, and our organization is first class. We got our own practice facility now, and we're number one as far as the facilities you need to do, the workouts, the doctors, and all the things that it takes for you to be successful on the court. Lakers are number one. So, again, it's not about selling anybody. It's about telling them about what we want to get accomplished, and are they the piece of the puzzle that's going to make it a complete fit. If we have to sell you, then we don't want you.
That's a great point. And hey, you brought up Kobe here. I got to ask you, because this has been going around for a long time. This has become kind of a legendary story. Back in 1996, when the Lakers were first looking at Kobe Bryant, the story that's been going around is that you were the guy that they brought in to defend Kobe in his performance for Jerry West and all the decision makers that were going to decide whether or not they needed to make the move to go and get Kobe Bryant. Can you tell us anything about that workout?
Well, it was a great workout. I personally didn't know a lot about Kobe. You just heard about him. And I was on the coaching staff at that time, so I was supposed to be out on the score as far as skill development and working players out. And the one thing that they had me to do was to make it difficult for him, and being a good defensive player, my point of view has always been make the offensive player take the shots that you want them to take from a defensive standpoint. And that was a uniqueness about Kobe, is that Kobe never let me, wherever he wanted to get on the floor, he was able to get there. Now, whether he hit the shot or not is a different story, but he was able to get to his spot. And, 60-70% of the time, he was knocking a shot down for a 19-year-old kid. That was something spectacular. And I think the physicality standpoint, I was banging on him and bumping on him, and he was able to hold his own and go through that. We went at each other for about maybe 45 minutes, different positions on the floor, posting up on the wing, around the free throw line at the elbow, different things that they wanted to see, pick and roll action. It was an interesting workout, and I was just glad to be part of it. But I wish that it was about maybe 15 years earlier, where I was a lot younger, a lot more spry. But you know what, Kobe was, you could tell he was going to be a phenom then, and he showed it. And look what happened. Lakers made a great move by drafting him.
Well, you know what? You mentioned being 15 years younger, and when you were with the Showtime era Lakers, your job on a night-to-night basis was covering the other team's best perimeter scorer. Night in and night out, you took on that task. You accepted that challenge, and Larry Bird has been quoted several times saying that he had a hard time when you were defending him. You've even said that he was your most difficult player to cover. If we were to take you from, let's say 1985 and transport you into today's NBA, who do you think would be the most difficult cover for you right now?
There's a lot of players, and I think the players have gotten a lot taller, a lot stronger. The typical prototype player from the 60s, 70s, and early 80s was your point guard, your two guard. Now players are basketball players. I think for me, the toughest person, as I watch these people play, I think obviously would be LeBron because he's just so physically big. But the other one, and probably the most dangerous one, would be Kevin Durant. This young man is, 6'10", 6'11", and he shoots like a guard, and, he can take you down low. And I think he has the ability, that little fall-away, one-legged fall-away jump shot, that's virtually unguardable because you can't put a big on him because he's going to go by you. And a guard, anywhere from 3, 2, 1, you don't stand a chance. But I would like to think that I would at least make him take some tough shots. But he probably would be the one where I'd have to watch a lot of film on because, again, he can shoot from anywhere on the floor. And his ball handling is not great, but he maneuvers well enough to get to where he wants to hit a shot.
Yeah, KD would definitely be a tough cover. He's a tough cover for just about anybody. We're going to take a very short break because I need to tell you about Simple Contacts. If you wear contact lenses and find yourself dreading that annual appointment to renew your prescription, then you are going to love Simple Contacts. It's a great new company that makes this annoying process simple. Simple Contacts lets you renew your expired contact lens prescription and reorder your brand of lenses from your phone or computer in just minutes. Simple Contacts brings the doctor's office to wherever you are whenever you need it. You can take the Simple Contacts vision test online in 5 minutes. A real doctor reviews it and renews your prescription. You save time, save money, and save yourself a headache. If you have an unexpired prescription, just upload a photo of it or your doctor's info and order your lenses in minutes for a great price. They do all the hard work for you. This is vision care for the 21st century, guys. Simple Contacts offers every brand of lenses and their prices are unbeatable. The prescriptions is just $20. Compare that to the annual appointment, which can cost you up to $250 without insurance. Simple Contacts, just $20. They have some of the best prices, and shipping is free. And best of all, my listeners now get $30 off their very first Simple Contacts order. To save $30 on your lenses, all you have to do is go to simplecontacts.com/LakersNation or enter the code LakersNation at checkout. Either way, I want to mention that this isn't a replacement for your periodic full eye health exam. You still need to get those occasionally, but it is the most convenient way to renew a prescription and reorder your contacts if your vision has not changed. Again, check out Simple Contacts, get $30 off by going to simplecontacts.com/LakersNation or just enter that code LakersNation at checkout. Give it a try now and you can thank me later. Okay, so Coop, you always focused on the defensive end of the floor. That was where you always focused your game on. You had to always guard the other team's best player. And we've been talking a little bit about the Lakers' improvement on defense this season. They have gotten a lot better. They were dead last in the league in defensive rating last year. And now this season, they ended up right around 13th or so, as I recall off the top of my head. A massive improvement. Coop, what is that? Is that just a renewed focus on defense, or is that an innate talent? What is it that allows a player to become a good defender?
Well, I think it's, first of all, pride. You got to want to be like a Steph Curry. You want to be the best scorer out there. Well, you have to take that individual pride and personal pride and put that into your defense. The reason why I think the Lakers improved a lot was simply for the fact is I think the players kind of got used to the coach. They got used to the system, and I think Luke slowly but surely started selling them on the defense. Again, coming from Golden State, that team was an offensive juggernaut. And I think he thought that he could bring that here. But you know what? Basketball is played on both ends of the floor, and the successful teams, and you look at Golden State, they might be a high-powered offensive team, not one of the best defensive teams, but you know what? When it comes lockdown time for 2 or 3 minutes, they're one of the best teams in the league. So you look at what's going to win you games and what's going to keep you a job as a coach is that you have to sell your players on playing defense. Yes, it's about offense, but still, somebody got to play defense, and it's better than just having 1, 2, maybe lockdown defenders if you're a good team, defensive team. And I thought the Lakers did a good job of that this year.
Yeah, and I certainly feel like the Showtime era teams, everybody focuses on the fast break because it's so pretty and it's so fun to watch. But a lot of times it gets overlooked just how good of a defensive squad you guys were. It was getting those stops on the defensive end that allowed you to get out and run, and that was a big part of the mentality. And a lot of that was coming from Pat Riley, right?
Yep, and you know what? Again, you said it right. He sold us on the defense, but we realized if we play defense and contest shots and get steals and make them miss, the more time we get to play on the offensive end is what we want to do. So a lot of that was conducive to him. But you know what? In their own right, Kareem probably one of the best shot blockers in the game. James Worthy coming from North Carolina, Dean Smith, they've always been a good defensive team down there, so he understood defense. I thought Jerry West did a great job, and we went out and got Michael Thompson, 6'11", 7-foot center that was defensive-minded. Magic Johnson wasn't a great one-on-one defender. He could keep you in front of him, but his worth for us was that Magic was probably one of the best team defensive players. So when the ball went into the post and we had to double, Magic was very good in that aspect. So, yeah, we were, and you hit it right, thought about offense, but we understood that to play more offense, it would be better for us to play defense. And I think that kind of spread through the team to where we kind of like putting people on lockdown for 2 or 3 minutes, not letting them score and us getting out and actually participating in showtime, which is an offensive thing.
Well, and hopefully these modern Lakers will be able to emulate that to some degree and continue to progress defensively, and then that'll let them get out and run. You'll let guys like Lonzo Ball get out and really push the fast break. Well, Coop, let's shift gears a little bit here. You are right now working with the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance because this is Oral Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Week. Can you tell me a little bit about your efforts with them and kind of what your story is and why you're working with them?
Well, I got involved with them this past year simply for the fact is 3.5 years ago, coaching down in Atlanta, I had it's like you bite your tongue when you're eating and stuff like that. But there was this little slit, nothing ugly or grotesque or anything like that, but it just wasn't healing. And finally, I actually went to the doctor, ENT, and that's when I found out that I had tongue cancer. Had never known anything about it. No one in my family has ever had it. Nobody that I know of had ever had it. And when they told me that's what I had, it just totally blew me away. I just was like, I was shocked. So once I went through all the process of actually having the surgery, Dr. Wadsworth was a good ENT doctor who really concentrated on throat and cancer. And then my follow-up doctors, Dr. Mugambi, one of the best head and neck cancer specialists out at the City of Hope. And then going through my radiation with Dr. Vore, learned a lot about the cancer situation. And as I was going through that, I met a couple of people that actually had the same thing I did. So in knowing that, and right now there's still full recovery, and it's just every year thing. I have to go get my checkup so that they can stay on top of it. If anything else were to happen, we can catch it early than late. Made me want to get involved with this because, again, and finding out about tongue cancer, 4 out of 10 African Americans are more susceptible to that. And I never knew that. I didn't even know anything about that. And it was just an interesting plight that I had to go through. My higher power, the Lord Jesus Christ, put you through some things. So I'm very, very glad and honored to participate in this venture and let people know about this disease.
So what should people do if they want to get checked out? Are there screenings that people can do to make sure that they're clear?
You can go to your screenings or provided funding for free screenings, support of the Oral Head and Neck Cancer Awareness. You can go to your doctor. One other thing I found out that could have helped me is your dentist. It's important that when you go to your dentist, you're supposed to get a month or a 6-month checkup or a cleaning on your teeth. And when you're there, the dentist should be more aware of that too. But if he or she is not, it's up to you to kind of ask them, what's going on in my mouth if they see anything strange that I need to get checked on. So, again, this month is letting everybody be aware of this, of cancer, of all types of cancer, but for definitely this oral cancer, because, again, more people get it than not. And you know what? Don't be surprised. And I was very, very surprised. But, again, that's why we're trying to do more preventive things, okay, because you can catch this early. Had I waited probably about another month, my situation would have been a lot more drastic than it was.
Well, and Coop, that must have been quite a shock when you heard that news and then going through the whole process. So before we wrap up here, what advice would you give someone who is currently going through that, maybe has discovered that they have oral cancer? What could you tell them about going through the process?
Well, first of all, whoever your higher power is, that's the person that you're going to need, okay? Because when times get tough, you can always count on people around you, but your higher power is going to be there for you. Second is just get your regular checkups and try to find out as much as you can about whatever type of cancer you have. And in this case, we're talking about oral or throat cancer, to learn about it yourself so you know what's going on. Checkup is going to be mainly important. And then the support of your family. My wife was very, very supportive. And without her, Yvonne, it would have been very difficult for me to do this venture alone. But she was right there with me, actually took time off of her job here in Los Angeles and came down to Atlanta where I had my surgery, stayed with me down there the whole time until I was able to get back out here. And people just be aware of your body and the signs that if something's not healing the right way, you need to have it checked, go to a doctor, and then you can Google it. Go online and Google a little bit about oral neck throat cancer because it's a little bit more prevalent than we do as I find out more and more about this whole situation. But I am very, very excited because I do want to speak more about this, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Hey, no problem. Thank you very much for coming on here. Really appreciate it. Appreciate talking Lakers with you and, of course, spreading the word about oral cancer, and hopefully everybody will go and get checked out. And that's a fantastic point about dentists because they really are the first line of defense in this fight.
They for sure are. Thank you so much.
All right. Coop, thanks so much for coming on here, and we'll talk to you again soon. Great stuff from legendary Laker and defensive ace Michael Cooper. Always a treat to get to talk to one of the Showtime era Lakers. I grew up watching these guys play, watching Kareem and Magic Johnson and Koopa Loop when he would get a lob from Magic to finish with a dunk. Of course, James Worthy out there running the break as well, Byron Scott. So always love getting to talk to the Showtime era guys. Appreciated his comments. Loved his story on his one-on-one workout with Kobe Bryant and how that went when the Lakers were looking at drafting him. And, of course, such an important fight against oral cancer. Was definitely proud to have him come on and be able to discuss those things. That's going to about do it for today's show. Don't forget, guys, head over to iTunes. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to this show. If you have any questions or comments you'd like us to discuss on air, just leave it in your review. We'll get to it. We will discuss it on our next show. Speaking of our next show, our next one's going to be coming up on Monday. I'm going to have Lakers Nation's Harrison Fagan on. We're going to be talking about the season, kind of recapping things, maybe handing out a few grades, talking about some things that different players can work on over the summer, all kinds of odds and ends that we're going to be discussing now that the NBA season is over, and we're going to start getting ready for what is sure to be an extremely busy summer for the Los Angeles Lakers. Thanks everybody for listening. My name is Trevor Lane. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane, and we will see you next time.